Hello everybody, Dr. Deaven here, and today we are going to be going over some gut health and digestive support really after you get done with your detox in the next day or so. Gut health can be attributed to a lot of systemic diseases and disorders, cardiovascular, metabolic, psychiatric, mood disorders, kidney disease, seasonal allergies is a big one, and autoimmune disorders. And so, a healthy gut or an unhealthy gut typically happens in four different ways. So the first big one is your diet. So the standard American diet is basically designed to kill you from the inside out. And so, it's easy for them to say, this is why you don't feel good, take this pill. This is why you don't feel good, take this pill. Or, I don't know why you don't feel good, here's a pill. And so, what you're eating affects your body and your internal organs, how your body functions in so many different ways. The next one is stress. Nobody's stressed in today's society. No. Gas didn't just go up 20 cents. Let's see here. Taxes didn't just go up. People aren't worried about what's going to happen in November. Absolutely, there's no stress. That was a joke. It's a lie. Everybody's stressed out. And so when you are stressed, it affects your HPA axis, and that is your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis, which in turn is going to affect your cortisol levels. So with a high cortisol, you are going to be doing a few different things. So you suppress the immune system, you slow down your intestinal contractility, motility, you increase visceral sensitivity. So like your insides, your guts are more sensitive. And so like a little bit of discomfort or pain, if it's at a 2, it's going to go up to like a 5 or a 6. And then you suppress your digestive enzyme secretions as well. So you're not breaking down and absorbing your food the way that you should be. Number 3 is dysbiosis. So I kind of hit on this a little bit with like the yeast overgrowth, the candida, a couple days ago, but it doesn't just have to be yeast. It can be like bad bacteria as well. So H. pylori is the big one that people tend to hear about. Excuse me. But like E. coli, you're supposed to have a little bit of E. coli in your gut. However, it's bad when that little bit becomes a lot of bit, and your good bacteria goes from a lot of bit to a little bit. So, if you are still experiencing like gas, bloating, pain after eating, those are some signs of like a dysbiosis. Lab values, so if you have like a pro-inflammatory cascade going on in your system. And then dysbiosis can also disrupt the synthesis of vitamins and neurotransmitters in your gut. So, some of our vitamins we can't make, but most of our vitamins we can make in our body if we have the correct components. So if we have this block and this block, then we can make this vitamin. However, you have to have the right bacteria in order to do that. So vitamin K, for example, you have to have vitamin K in order for vitamin D3 to absorb correctly. K2, all right? So vitamin K2 is what you really need to have. But a lot of people don't have the correct bacteria in their gut, and so they're not going to be able to absorb that vitamin D3. Even if they're out in the sun a whole bunch and they've got that nice tan, doesn't always mean they've got good levels of vitamin D3. I have seen some lab values of vitamin D3 that are ridiculously low, and their doctor's like, oh, it's fine. No, it's not fine. So definitely, you know, that's one thing that you also want to be paying attention to is, you know, dysbiosis. How's your gut running? Especially after this detox. If you're still having issues and you're like stalled or you're weighted at one point or another, talk to somebody about that, because there's obviously another something going on. And then medications is our last one. So proton pump inhibitors or PPIs is a big one. That's going to cause an unhealthy gut. Histamine blockers, typically those are like acid reflux type medicines. And then we have laxatives, so Miralax. I could not tell you how many children are on Miralax because they can't poop. That's ridiculous. Honestly, there are so many other things that you could be giving a child besides Miralax, because especially in a child, it can be detrimental to their brain. So, not great. And then NSAIDs. You know, everybody talks about NSAIDs not being great, you know, for your liver and kidneys, but it's also not good for your GI tract. So keep that in mind. If you are in pain, I would try white willow bark instead. So, you know, how do you address this? So labs are going to be typically the first step that you really want to focus on. So get a CBC, a CMP, look at your CRP, your C-reactive protein, the ESR, which is the sedimentary rate in your blood, the PV, and then there's something called calprotectin and lactoferrin, and then secretory IgA. And so those are those last three are like not newer, but labs that aren't like they're not going to be ran by your normal PCP because they probably don't know about them. And then, you know, you have your stool test. So sounds gross, but testing your poop, looking to see what bacteria is in there, if you have any viruses in there, because viruses shed. You know, you may not actively be sick, but everybody has viruses in their body. And it's, you know, how good is your immune system working to suppress those viruses? So the shedding process of viruses, that's going to show up in fecal matter. Fatigue. I had Epstein-Barr virus when I was in school. And I had severe fatigue, tired all the time, could not get enough sleep. Was trying to take 3 different board exams during that time. Lymph nodes were super swollen. I tested positive for Epstein-Barr virus. So, you know, some people just think like, oh, I'm tired because I'm just not sleeping well and I'm stressed out. Could be, but you could also have like a virus that nobody's treating. And I was that way my levels were pretty high, so about 2 months. Viruses don't always just go away within 10 to 14 days, like they like you to believe. So, you know, your stool testing, toxin testing, toxins being like environmental toxins, heavy metal toxins, those types of things, and then allergen testing. So looking to see, are you sensitive to gluten, corn, milk, those types of things. I did an IgE sensitivity test when I was going through my detox, and I was sensitive to eggs, egg white and egg yolk. I was sensitive to all forms of dairy, chia seeds, and clams for some reason. I didn't know about clams. And so that's really something to look into if you're still unsure and you don't know what your next step should be. We'll talk to you about that. And then, you know, after this detox is done, what type of diet should you really do? Anti-inflammatory diet, 100%. You know, paleo is probably the easiest one for people to follow. And then you can do like a bastardized version of paleo, where you can add in like a little bit of dairy here and there. But I would try to not like add all of that in at once, because your tum-tum will probably not appreciate it. So, you know, try to get that anti-inflammatory diet in, try to get some prebiotics, some fiber, polyphenols. So polyphenols are going to be like green tea, black coffee, not coffee with a ton of sugar and creamer and bologna in it, and then dark chocolate, like super dark chocolate. Those are your 3 best polyphenols. And then really adding in your leafy greens, fennel, artichoke, beets, cruciferous vegetables, pineapple, papaya, and dark berries. Those are some that you really want to focus on. Probiotic wise, you know, you want to have some of that good bacteria being introduced into your gut. And so food sources for that can be sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, some types of like yogurt, like Greek yogurts. I think Micah has a video on how to make certain types of yogurts on here, so look that up if you haven't. Or you can buy it at the store, either way. And then spices. So, you know, the Asian culture, especially, you know, China, Japan, India, like they use a ton of spices. And for, you know, Americans, like sometimes their spices are super overpowering, but those spices are healing. And so a couple that, you know, really you need to start trying to cook with: turmeric, garlic, onion, chili powder, cinnamon, ginger, black pepper, just to name a few. You know, those like heating spices, the ones that warm you up. And then supplement wise, now don't just go out and buy these, because you don't know exactly what you need, how much you need, and not all supplements are created equally. So like, for example, a lot of supplements on Amazon, you can see that they've got vitamin D3. That's great. Love vitamin D3. What do you need with vitamin D3? K2. If your microbiome is not like functioning well, you're not going to be creating your own vitamin K2, and so you're not going to be absorbing that vitamin D3 very well. So that supplement you're wasting your money on is crap. So a couple supplements, just, you know, for us to be aware of, for you to be aware of and ask about. L-glutamine is one. You know, it's going to help heal the gut lining. Zinc carnosine, I think is how you say it. It is zinc, but it's also got an amino acid on it. It's super great for stabilizing the small intestine, stimulating gut repair, like the cells regenerating and healing. And then it works really good for things like GERD, peptic ulcers, IBD and IBS as well. And then vitamin D. So levels for that need to be, like blood levels, need to be between 60 and 80. The majority of Americans are going to be about 30 to 40 if you're not supplementing. And typically, I mean, they could be a lot lower than that. I saw one that was like as low as like 6 one time. And it was in the middle of summer. And this child was outside a lot. So that's something to be aware of. Keep that in mind. And then it's called DGL. And what it basically does is it coats the gastrointestinal tract and it helps soothe any irritability. So like, you know, you're gonna have to eat. So as you're eating, you're gonna take this and your stomach acid's gonna come out, and you just kind of coat the walls of your gastrointestinal tract. It's gonna help, you know, decrease any irritation that like your your stomach acid causes, your digestive enzymes may cause, just to help repair just a little bit quicker. So that's all I have for today, gut health and digestive support afterwards. Really pay attention to how you're feeling after the detox, what you think you want to focus on, whether that be how you're feeling after you eat certain foods, how you're still feeling, like are you still fatigued, are you still not interested, do you still have some anxiety, do you still have some depression, do you still get really angry and you're not able to calm down. So those are just some things that tell us there's a little bit more work to do. There is no magic pill. There is nothing that is going to be a quick fix for the majority of us. I mean, it takes time. My gut detox took full detox and reintroduction took about 4 months. And you want to kind of, you can't detox when you're pregnant. Otherwise, I'd have been doing another detox around this time. So, just keep that in mind. And if you have any other questions, leave those in the comments below, and we will get to those when we can. So I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.